Tervetuloa tähän radioittavien autojen ensimmäisen pressitilaisuuteen. Meillä on kisat alkamassa tänään, meillä on harjoituspäivä ja sitten huomenna meillä on virallisesti alkueräkierrokset ja sitten keskiviikkona finaalit. Ja nyt ajetaan siis takavetoluokkaa. Ja tämän pressitilaisuuden tarkoitus on sitten, että saatte vähän tuntumaan siitä, että mitkä nämä kisat oikein on. Ja meillä on täällä sitten nämä herrasmiehet, jotka antaa ihan ammattilaisnäkökulmaa siitä. Ja nyt mä annan sitten puheenvuoron sitten LiveRCin edustajalle. Erik Swanson hoitaa sitten tämän pressitilaisuuden englanniksi. Ja jos on mitään ongelmia niin kuin käännösten kanssa, niin mä toki voin auttaa. Mutta hän ensin hoitaa nämä kysymykset ja sitten sen jälkeen myös te voitte kysyä. So Erik Swanson, please. Now you can take the lead.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like she said, my name is Erik Swanson. I'm from liverc.com, which is the media organization that's covering the event this week that is broadcasting live video on the internet all week long. We cover all the racing, so if you want to find more footage of it later on, you can go there and get everything you need to know. We're going to be talking to a few gentlemen here, all very important in the industry. First, we'll start over there with Paul Worsley. Paul, can you tell us a little bit about where the competitors are from for the event here? And we'll have you speak into this microphone here.
For this event, I think we have 25 countries represented. The competitors have come from all over the world. The world for RC racing is split up into four blocks. So you have a group of people from North America, you have a group of people from the Far Eastern countries, you have groups of people from the European countries and also from South Africa, and that covers quite a large block. The total is around 25 countries. I think it is 18 countries from within Europe, and the rest come from the rest of the world, including USA, Israel, South Africa, Australia, Japan, Hong Kong, and maybe a few others that I can't remember.
I just remember to speak up. There's got some people in the back there that can't quite hear you. Can you describe how all the competitors here this week have qualified for the event? Now it's a world championship, so that signifies that it's the highest level of racing in this discipline. So is there a certain way that these competitors have to qualify in order to get here?
Yes, there is. The competitors qualify for this event, which is only held every 2 years, so they have 2 years to prepare for each of the events as they take place. And different countries have different methods which their drivers have to qualify through. In some countries, it will be based on how you have done in your own national federation championship, because there is usually not enough places for all the drivers that want to compete at this event. So there has to be a system for choosing the drivers. Most of the countries will take the competitor list for their individual country from their own national championship event, so their best drivers are here. At the end of the day, this is a world championship, so we want the best drivers here, so that is the best way to ensure you have the best ones.
All right, and lastly, can you describe for the people that may not quite be as familiar with the sport as we are, just a high-level overview of what the vehicles are that we are racing here? We know they're remotely operated, but just a little bit more detail on what we're racing here this week.
Okay, we have two types of vehicle that we're racing here this week. There are cars driven by just two wheels only, which are always the rear wheels, and there are cars that are driven by all four wheels. So there are two classes of car, two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The cars are powered by small electric motors, which are only 53 millimeters long, and they are the latest state-of-the-art technology in electric motors. They produce an amazing amount of power for their size. And the electric motors are powered by batteries, electric batteries which are rechargeable. In years gone by, these batteries were normal round cells that were recharged, but in recent years the chemistry technology of battery has improved enormously, and we're now using lithium-based batteries. They have a huge capacity and a huge output of power, probably something like, I don't know, maybe 30–40% more than what we had only 7 or 8 years ago. The cars are controlled with a radio Some drivers use just ordinary sticks that they move with their thumbs to control them. Some drivers use a steering wheel. And the radio has frequencies set in it which are fixed to each individual car. So one radio controls one car, which is why we can race so many cars on the track at once. They are very technical in their design. I sometimes think that the people that spend millions of pounds in Formula One racing throughout the world are still behind us in design, because we can change so many things on these cars to make them better to suit the track. And the mechanics that work on these cars and the drivers themselves, they're absolute experts in making the adjustments to the cars to make the cars suit the tracks. It's really quite enormous what they can do.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. That was Paul Worsley. We'll have the panel ask you we'll open up some questions later on, but for now we'll go to Jared. Jared, you can grab the microphone there. This is Jared Tebow. He's from the United States. He is a former world champion, and he is competing for another title here this week. Jared, you were here a month ago for the world's warm-up race. Can you describe how the track is this time around? Has it gotten better, or what have you seen as far as the track and the organization? How have they done so far this week?
Oh, they've done an excellent job. The track was great when we were here for the warm-up, and they made a few changes, just kind of revamped the track, reworked the jumps. They changed most of the obstacles. Some of the layout is pretty similar, but pretty much all the obstacles out there are different, and I think they did a great job. It really flows well. It's fun to drive, and I think it will offer some really good racing. There's a little bit more passing, I think, with the track now than there was at the warm-up race. We pretty much had to just wait for a mistake at the warm-up race, but now there's a couple different style switchbacks that I think will lend to a little bit better racing, and they reface all the jumps. Really good job, and I mean the organization's unbelievable. Even for the warm-up, they did a great job, and I was really looking forward to coming back, and I've been to quite a few world championships, and this is definitely on the top of my list as probably the greatest one that I've been to, just with everyone so excited and welcoming, and they look like they really enjoy putting the event on, and have welcomed all the racers very well.
All right, now you were in Vasa a month ago, and now you'll be here again for 8-10 days or something like that. Have you had a chance to experience any of the local culture, or get out around the town and do anything special out here this week so far?
Not really too much. I'm trying to keep it tame at night, and not get too crazy. Companies spend a lot of money for us to come out here, so I don't want to kind of blow it all on the nightlife, and get too crazy. But I haven't really got to explore too much. Had a pretty good pizza joint last night, so that was pretty nice. I think I ate a little too much, but they have awesome pizza in Vasa for sure.
All right. Now, you have won a world championship before, and you've been on the cusp of winning, a few other ones. Can you explain to everybody what the importance of an IFMAR World Championship is? Like, what does it do to someone's career if they're able to win one?
Yeah, it's pretty undescribable, really. It kind of depends on the person. For me, I'm really competitive, and, my thing is just to be the best that I can be. And, when you win a Worlds, that's the ultimate goal that you can ever set, is being a world champion in anything, whatever it may be. If you can say that you're a world champion, that's pretty much the ultimate high you can get, in whatever thing that you're doing. And, it was amazing, and it was in Japan in 2007, and I can remember it, exactly how it was, and it's pretty undescribable. It's, you get so excited and you work. I think the biggest thing is you work so hard at home, and, trying to prepare and trying to get everything going. And, I'm sure Yuka would maybe be better, but when I won my Worlds, it's like everything just clicked. I've never driven as good as I did that day, and I don't know if I ever will. Maybe if I win another Worlds, it'll kind of be like that. But you have just like a really crazy feeling, I think, when you're driving, that just nothing can go wrong and you're just in that ultimate groove, you know, where I think you can only get that if you, you know, are able to win a world championship, because that's just the ultimate high that you can get. You know, you're so excited and you're so focused that that's kind of the best there is.
All right, now, many people may not know, some of the local media here, that you're actually a professional driver. You're one of, you know, a handful of people that actually get paid to race radio-controlled cars. And there's a lot of work that goes into that. It's not as easy as some may think. And you mentioned it briefly now, the preparation that goes into getting ready for an event like this. Can you kind of discuss what it takes for a professional RC driver to, you know, prepare and get themselves ready in order to come out to a place like Finland and race for a world championship?
Yeah, it takes a lot more preparation than people really realize, you know. You know, anything that you do professional, you're professional for a reason, you know. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, you know. I'm definitely, you know, blessed with what I have, and I really enjoy it, but by no means is it easy. You know, a lot of work at home, testing, trying to get comfortable with your cars, preparation just with, you know, building cars to run at home. You know, if you want to do a week's worth of testing, you need quite a few cars to be able to run. And if you want to test multiple things, you know, you can have a couple different cars. And, you know, for the amount of driving that you do and how much work goes into the car is about, you know, equal or almost more maintenance than driving, you know. So if you want to drive for 10 hours in a week, you know, you need to have, I would say, 15 to 20 hours of maintenance beforehand, you know. So there's a lot of time spent, you know, getting prepared, getting ready, and also the mental side, you know. There's a lot of pressure, you know, everyone's watching, and the competition is so high right now that you make one mistake, you know, you're pretty much done. So the mental side's really important too, and trying to stay calm and, you know, not let everything get to you, I think is just as important as the preparation when you get to the really high level of racing.
Right, we brought you up here because you're obviously one of the top runners, front runners in RC racing recently, and you're going to be, you know, right up there in contention for the Worlds. But outside of yourself, who do you think is going to be your, you know, who's the toughest competition here at the Worlds in your eyes so far?
You know, that's a pretty tough question. There's a lot of good drivers. You know, I think Cavalieri will be good. Mayfield will be good. Dustin and Truey have been running really good lately. You know, I feel pretty good. I'm hoping that I can, you know, get it together and be up front. And a lot of the Europeans ran really good at the warm-up race. So, you know, Neil's been running good, and also Lee Martin's been running really good. So, you know, I think it's pretty open, more than it would normally be. I don't know if just maybe the different style track. You know, in the U.S. we run a lot of 180s and more square turns. You know, this is pretty European style with the open corners and stuff like that. You know, maybe that's really suiting them well. And, you know, you can definitely tell that everyone's been putting their hard work in. And it's going to be a great event. I think two-wheel and four-wheel, it's going to be really amazing racing. The track's great for battling. I think it's going to be a battle right down to the last lap in every final, so it should be great.
All right, well, thank you very much. That was Jared Tebow. He is a driver from the United States. And we'll hand it over now to Yuka Stenari. Yuka, you are arguably, probably everyone would agree that you're the greatest driver to ever come from Finland. But
thank you.
But you're now living in the United States, and you have for about 8-9 years, I believe.
That's right, correct.
Yuka is now a engineer for one of the major manufacturers in the radio control car industry, Team Losi Racing. And Yuka, now that you've lived in the United States, and you obviously come from Finland, and you've been all around the world in between, how would you describe the RC scene here in Finland and compared to places like America or Japan or other places in the world that you might have been?
Well, with those comparisons, it's obviously a lot smaller country, but I think we've always had a very dedicated group of enthusiasts, hobbyists in Finland who really enjoy racing, and I mean, Finns love to compete, and so and automotive racing in general is kind of in our blood. So a lot of racing going around the country, you know, year around, and we've been able to see, luckily, a good lineup of racers from Finland the past years. So
Now, this is the second electric off-road world championships that have been held in Finland within the last 12 years, which is kind of rare. This is the year that all of Europe could have been eligible to host the Worlds, but it was chosen to be Finland. What do you think are some of the reasons that Finland makes such a desirable location to host an event like this?
well, I think it's really a testament of all the hard work that the organizers have done here in Finland. First in Rauma, and now obviously here in Vaasa. They had the European Championships here a few years back, and that really impressed everyone who was here, and that I think led to really earning to have the Worlds here as well. So.
All right, now in case we didn't mention it, I think we did, but Jukka is a two-time world champion, and one of the world champions he won was actually in Finland on your home turf. So, as a Finnish driver that won a world championships in Finland, how do you think some of the other Finnish drivers here this week are feeling? You know, what's going through their mind? Are they getting extra motivation to try to perform, or are they?
Well,
what do you think they're? What do you think?
No, I think they're just really excited to be here, and really, I think what I've talked to them here the past 2 days, they're just really proud of the work that the organizers have done here, and that they're excited to be part of it for sure.
All right, and you like I mentioned, you work for a radio control car manufacturer. You're very involved with the race team and things like that. Just lastly, for some of the folks that may not know, can you describe what the differences are between full-scale motorsport and a radio control car racing? You know, from a manufacturer's perspective, is it just as involved of a process that goes on, or what are some of the differences?
I think it's probably very similar. Obviously, where it's a smaller scale of product and organization too in racing, but you need to start planning for the event way ahead, you know, a year or even 2 years ahead. A lot of testing goes into it, like Jarrett mentioned. A lot of the same things apply. You need to make sure you supply, you know, logistics, you know, making sure that you have all the product here for your team, and make sure you know, the setups all figured out. And that was being here for the warm-up a few months ago was very important as well. So there are actually probably a lot of similarities between the industries. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. That's Jukka Stenari. Does anyone have any questions for any of our guests up here? Anyone? Anyone at all? All right. Well, I think that should just about do it. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. And good luck to you, Jared.